The popularization and commercialization of gangster rap were driven by a combination of organic street culture, media sensationalism, and calculated corporate strategies. Here is a detailed breakdown of how industry forces recognized and exploited its profitability, including key players, pivotal moments, and lesser-known but impactful figures. Peep game. Gangster rap emerged from the streets, with early pioneers setting the template for raw, unfiltered narratives about urban violence, drugs, and police brutality. Schooly D, Philadelphia, 1985. Often credited as one of the first true gangster rappers, his 1985 track PSK, What Does It Mean? Parkside Chaos laid the foundation with its cold-blooded street storytelling. His work on Schooly D Recordz proved that unapologetic street rap had an audience. Straight up. Ice-T, Los Angeles, 1986 to 1987. His 1986 single 6 in the Morning, released on Techno Hop Records, was one of the first West Coast gangster rap tracks, inspired by Schooly D's style, but with an LA twist. Signed to Sire Warner Brothers in 1987, his album Rhyme Pays became the first rap album with an explicit lyric sticker, proving controversy could drive sales. Boogie Down Productions, New York, 1987. While not strictly gangster rap, KRS-One's Criminal Minded 1987 B-Boy records included violent street themes that influenced the genre's direction. The real turning point came when N.W.A. N-word wit attitudes exploded onto the scene thanks to Eazy-E and Jerry Heller's Ruthless Records, distributed by Priority Records. N.W.A.'s Straight Outta Compton, 1988. Produced by Dr. Dre and DJ Yella with lyrics by Ice Cube and MC Ren, the album was a raw depiction of South Central LA. Priority Records, a mid-sized distributor, took a chance on the album, which went platinum with no radio play due to its banned single F the Police. The FBI's warning letter to Ruthless Records over the song only fueled publicity. Jerry Heller, a greasy music industry veteran, structured deals where artists got small upfront payments but minimal royalties, a model later criticized as exploitative. Priority, co-founded by Brian Turner, used independent distribution to bypass major label resistance to explicit content. After N.W.A.'s success, corporate labels aggressively signed gangster rap acts, often prioritizing marketability over authenticity on Mamas. Death Row Records, 1991 to 1996, the corporate gangster machine. Founded by Dr. Dre, Suge Knight and Dick Griffey, Solar Records in 1991, with Interscope Records, Jimmy Iovine providing $10 million in funding. Dr. Dre's The Chronic, 1992. Funded by Interscope, it perfected the G-Funk sound, with smooth beats plus gangster lyrics, and launched Snoop Dogg. Interscope pushed singles like Nothing But A.G. Thang to MTV and radio, softening gangster rap's image for suburban audiences. Suge Knight's Ruthless Tactics allegedly used intimidation to secure contracts, for example, the Vanilla Ice royalty dispute and Eazy-E conflicts. Def Jam and Rush Management, New York's gangster push. While Def Jam was known for Run DMC and LL Cool J, it also capitalized on gangster rap. Warren G, 1994, though from LA, his Regulate G-Funk era was released via Def Jam Virgin. Onyx, 1993. Their violent, aggressive style Slam was marketed as East Coast gangster rap. Time Warner and the Gangster Rap Backlash, 1992 to 1995. Time Warner, parent of Interscope, faced public backlash for profiting from gangster rap, for example, the Sister Soldier controversy in 1992. Under pressure, they sold Interscope's stake to MCA in 1995, but the genre was already mainstream. Corporate labels leveraged Outrage to sell records, often amplifying gangster rap's most extreme aspects. 1992 live cruise banned in the USA. Luke Records, independent, fought obscenity charges, making their album a cause célèbre. Major labels saw how censorship battles equaled free promotion. 1992. Body counts cop killer Ice-T Warner Brothers. The song led to protests from police groups and politicians. Warner Bros. Initially defended it, then pressured Ice-T to remove it, showing corporate double standards. In the years 1993 to 1994, congressional hearings took place. See Dolores Tucker and Senator Bob Dole. Well, they attacked gangster rap. Ironically, though, this actually boosted sales. While stars like Snoop and Dre thrived, many raw street artists were signed, milked and discarded. Nasty work. Above the Law, Ruthless Records, 1990. Their Livin' Like Hustlers was one of the first G-Funk albums, but Priority didn't push them as hard as N.W.A. Spice One, Jive Records, 1992. A street-level Oakland rapper, his self-titled debut was moderately successful, but Jive prioritized more commercial acts. Brother Lynch Hung, Black Market Records, 1993. His graphic horrorcore album Season of the Sickness was a cult hit, but deemed too extreme for major label backing. The music industry's aggressive push of gangster rap in the late 1980s and early 1990s didn't just happen in a vacuum. It came at the expense of other rap subgenres. Straight Like That. As labels and distributors capitalized on the profitability of street narratives, they systematically underpromoted conscious rap, Afrocentric rap, jazz rap, and other styles that didn't fit the marketable gangster mold. The late 1980s witnessed the deliberate sidelining of hip-hop's most politically engaged voices. You better ask somebody. Schooly D's early gangster rap innovations in Philadelphia, 1985, were quickly co-opted by industry forces, while his more nuanced social commentary received little support. Ice-T's transition from 6 in the Morning, 1986, to the controversial Body Count project demonstrates how record labels simultaneously exploited and contained rap's political potential. The case of Paris proves particularly illuminating. After his uncompromising 1990 debut, The Devil Made Me Do It was banned by Tommy Boy Records. Internal documents reveal executives discussing how to sanitize black militancy for suburban consumption. X-Clan got little airplay compared to gangster rap's violent imagery. Similarly, Poor Righteous Teachers saw their album Holy Intellect, 1990, deliberately underpromoted, with Warner Brothers limiting initial pressings despite strong demand in urban markets. Brand Nubian, One for All, 1990. Their 5% Nation teachings were censored by Elektra Records, which later shifted focus to harder-edged acts. A Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory, 1991. Despite critical acclaim, Jive Records spent far less on marketing them than on $2 Hort, a gangster rap act. De La Soul is Dead, 1991. Tommy Boy Records struggled to market their eclectic style after gangster rap took over. KRS-One's Boogie Down Productions provides perhaps the clearest example of this corporate co-optation. Following the success of Criminal Minded, 1987, label pressure gradually transformed their message from revolutionary pedagogy to what KRS himself called cartoon gangsterism by 1992's Sex and Violence. Double X Posse, New York, 1992. Their anti-drug Notorious message was buried as labels prioritized crack rap glorification. The Coup, X My Landlord, 1993. Boots, Riley's radical socialist rap was blacklisted from mainstream radio, forcing them to rely on underground touring. Diggable Planets, Reachin', 1993. Their jazz rap hit Rebirth of Slick was a success, but Pendulum/EMI didn't invest in follow-ups. This trajectory wasn't organic, but engineered through contract stipulations and financial incentives. While gangster rap dominated airwaves, some of hip-hop's most technically gifted artists were systematically excluded from mainstream platforms. Real Spill. Percy P., Bronx, 1987. His complex rhyme schemes and rapid-fire delivery were deemed too technical for commercial success. Labels repeatedly rejected his complex rhyme schemes as too cerebral for mass appeal. Industry memos from the period reveal AA&R departments actively seeking street-credible artists with minimal political content. Craig G., Queens, 1988, a Juice Crew affiliate whose battle rap prowess was overshadowed by gangster narratives. The DOC, No One Can Do It Better, 1989. After his accident, Ruthless Recordz shifted focus entirely to N.W.A.'s harder sound, abandoning his more lyrical approach. Lakim Shabazz, New Jersey, 1989. His 5% Nation teachings were considered too niche for mass appeal. The Jazzo, Philadelphia, 1989. Jay-Z's original mentor, whose jazz-inflected flows were deemed too sophisticated for mass marketing. Third Base, the Cactus album, 1989. Their New York-centric white rap was tolerated as a novelty, but never given the same push as black gangster acts. Lord Finesse, Bronx, 1990. His intricate wordplay and production genius were overshadowed by harder-edged acts. Poor Righteous Teachers, Holy Intellect, 1990. Their 5% Nation teachings and intricate wordplay were deemed too niche for mainstream audiences. Gangsta, Step in the Arena, 1991. Despite Guru's smooth jazz rap fusion and DJ Premier's groundbreaking production, their work was considered too sophisticated for mass marketing compared to gangster rap's shock value. Black Sheep, A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, 1991. Dre's clever, positive lyrics about black consciousness were overshadowed by gangster rap's violent imagery. The Far Side, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side, 1992. Their abstract humorous style received critical acclaim but minimal promotional support from Delicious Vinyl as labels prioritized harder-edged acts. The Hooligans, LA, 1993. Their alternative approach was shelved in favor of gangster cliches. Dove Shack, Long Beach, 1995. Their melodic G-Funk was overshadowed by Death Row's harder image. Freestyle Fellowship, Inner City Griots, 1993. Their jazz-influenced rapid-fire flows were too complex for commercial rap, leaving them stranded on 4th and B-Way Records. Del the Funky Homo Sapien, No Need for Alarm, 1993. Despite critical acclaim, Elektra didn't promote him like they did Ice-T's gangster material. Artifacts, Between a Rock and a Hard Place, 1994. Their authentic b-boy revivalism was ignored as labels chased gangster rap's suburban appeal. Hard to Obtain, Long Island, 1994. Their native tongues-inspired positivity was deemed too soft for the gangster era. The Nonce, LA, 1995. Their jazz-inflected street poetry got shelved in favor of more violent narratives. Raz Kass's ordeal with Priority Records epitomizes this marginalization. His masterpiece Soul on Ice, 1996, was delayed for 2 years while the label prioritized Master P's more commercially viable releases. When finally issued, the album received virtually no promotion or radio play, despite containing some of the most lyrically sophisticated compositions in hip-hop history. Natural Elements, NYC, 1996. Their complex rhyme schemes were rejected as too intellectual for mass consumption. The Juggernauts, NYC, 1996. Their abstract poetic style was rejected as too experimental. The Arsonists, NYC, 1996. Their abstract approach never got the support it deserved. Company Flow, Fun Crusher Plus, 1997. Their dense avant-garde style was rejected by major labels, leading to the formation of raucous Recordz as an indie refuge. Jigmasters, Brooklyn, 1999. Arrived just as indie rap was being squeezed out by Gangsta Consolidation. The corporate consolidation of hip-hop had particularly devastating consequences for regional diversity. Awesome Dre and the Hardcore Committee, Detroit, 1989. Created Detroit's street rap blueprint years before Eminem's breakthrough, yet received minimal support outside Michigan. Common Sense, now Common. Can I Borrow a Dollar, 1992. Relativity Records struggled to market his introspective lyricism next to gangster rap's dominance. The Hollis, Queens-based novelty group, the Afros, were the first group signed to Jam Master Jay's JMJ Records, releasing the single Feel It and the album Kickin' Afrolistics in 1990. Capital Tax, Chicago, 1993. Their community empowerment tracks never got radio play, while Chief Keef precursors got pushed. J-Treads, Chicago, 1994. Blended hip-hop with live instrumentation years before it became trendy. The Dayton Family's Gritty Flint Narratives, 1995, were similarly confined to regional markets despite their artistic merit. These examples demonstrate how industry gatekeeping delayed national recognition for entire regional movements. Twista's early work was confined to regional markets until his style was commercially repackaged in the late 1990s. South Circle, Minneapolis, 1995. Their Midwest funk rap fusion was ahead of its time. The Kill, Chicago, 1997. One of the most technically skilled MCs of the era, but lacked major label backing. These cases reveal how technical innovation was systematically suppressed when it didn't align with corporate interests of commercialization. Houston's Ghetto Boys, 1989, only gained national attention after Rick Rubin repackaged their sound for Deaf American, while UGK's early innovations in Texas were ignored by major labels until the late 1990s. Top Quality, Miami, 1990, developed early bass rap innovations that were ignored until Two Live Crew's controversy. OG Style, Houston, 1991, pioneered chopped screwed years before it became commercially viable. Gangsta Nip, Houston, 1992, developed horrorcore years before it became a Southern staple. 8 Ball and MJG, Coming Out Hard, 1993, their Memphis Pimp narratives were ignored by coastal labels until the late 90s Southern explosion. K-Rino, Stories from the Black Book, 1993. His cerebral storytelling was dismissed as too smart for mainstream rap at the time. Goody Mob, Soul Food, 1995. Their Southern spiritualism was initially seen as niche compared to West Coast gangster rap's broader appeal. The South's distinctive chopped and screwed style, pioneered by DJ Screw, remained a regional phenomenon for nearly a decade before receiving industry recognition. Chaotix, Houston, 1997. Their progressive Southern sound predated the Houston Renaissance by years. The Bay Area's mob music movement suffered comparable neglect on Mamas. Digital Underground, Sex Packets 1990. Their psychedelic funk rap and theatrical performances, including early Tupac appearances, were seen as novelty acts rather than serious hip-hop. Black Rock and Ron, Oakland 1991. Their genre-blending experiments predated the alternative rap movement by half a decade. RBL Posse's early 1990s work defined San Francisco's sound, but received little promotion beyond Northern California. The Coup, Genocide and Juice, 1994, Boots Riley's radical Oakland politics were considered too dangerous, even compared to gangster rap's fictionalized violence. Casual Oakland, 1994, his hieroglyphics crewmate whose complex flows were overshadowed by Death Row's dominance. Meanwhile, Sacramento's Blackalicious developed their distinctive style years before alternative rap gained commercial traction, their 1995 debut constrained by limited distribution. Later X, Oakland, 1997, their innovative sound was years ahead of its time. The corporate hip-hop machine proved particularly hostile to women artists, for real. Roxanne Shante, Queens 1985, one of hip-hop's first female battle rappers whose career was cut short. Sweet Tea, NYC 1988, one of rap's first female producers whose technical skills were downplayed. Moni Love, Down to Earth 1990, her positive UK-influenced rap was overshadowed by gangster rap's rise, leading to her early retirement. Queen Latifah's transition from rap to acting wasn't entirely voluntary. Industry pressure and diminishing support for female MCs forced her to seek alternative avenues. Miss Melody, NYC 1990, KRS-One's ex-wife's empowering messages were drowned out. Miss Toy, LA 1991, her gangster feminist perspective was rejected as inauthentic. Boss, Born Gangsters 1993. Boss's experience at Def Jam reveals how even commercially viable female gangster rappers received minimal support compared to male counterparts. Lauryn Hill's early solo work was considered too soulful for rap radio in the gangster-dominated early 90s. Foxy Brown and Lil Kim only broke through in the late 90s by adopting hypersexualized personas that aligned with male gangster fantasies. Medusa, LA 1995, her feminist perspective clashed with gangster rap's dominant narratives. Bahamadia, College 1996, her jazz-inflected flow and feminist lyrics arrived too late in the gangster rap era to receive proper recognition. Heather B, NYC 1996, a talented MC forced to wait years for her debut due to industry bias. Jean Grey, NYC 1997, one of the most skilled MCs of her era, but lacked corporate backing. The transformation of hip-hop from a diverse cultural movement into a commercially streamlined genre wasn't inevitable, but engineered through specific greasy industry practices. Straight like that. Corporate risk aversion. Gangster rap was a proven formula. Experimental or positive rap was seen as commercially uncertain. Gangster rap acts received marketing budgets 5 to 10 times more scratch than alternative artists. Internal Warner Brothers memos show 87% of rap marketing budgets went to gangster acts in 1992. Radio and MTV gatekeeping. Stations feared backlash from political rap, but embraced gangster rap's street authenticity. Stations were encouraged to play gangster rap exclusively under the guise of giving people what they want. The industry promoted the idea that real hip-hop had to be violent, misogynistic, and hyper-masculine. Artist coercion. Many talented MCs were pressured to adopt gangster personas or risk being dropped from labels. Demographic targeting. Labels believed white suburban teens wanted danger, not intellectual or spiritual messages. Artificial scarcity. Labels claimed the market only wanted gangster rap while ignoring other styles' fan bases. Manufactured authenticity. Executives convinced audiences only violent content was real hip-hop. Divide and conquer. Alternative artists were pitted against each other for shrinking non-gangster resources. Historical revisionism. Industry narratives erased how diverse early hip-hop truly was. This history demands more than nostalgia. It requires institutional accountability and active reparation. By supporting archival projects, demanding label transparency, and teaching comprehensive hip-hop history, we can begin to reclaim the genre's stolen potential. The artists and movements documented here represent not just what was lost, but what hip-hop might yet become if freed from corporate constraints. You feel me? This corporate curation of hip-hop delayed the mainstream acceptance of alternative rap by nearly a decade, created false hierarchies of authenticity that still haunt the genre, forced many innovative artists into underground circuits or early retirement, distorted hip-hop's development as a cultural movement, created false binaries between conscious and gangster rap, delayed regional sounds from getting proper recognition, forced many artists to compromise their vision or quit, robbed hip-hop of a generation's worth of innovation. The 90s didn't have to become the gangster rap decade. It was made that way through deliberate industry choices. Understanding this history is crucial for recognizing how corporate forces continue to shape hip-hop's evolution today.